Hawaii's most famous stadium didn't fall in an earthquake or a storm. It quietly rusted until the day it was declared too dangerous to enter. How did the sea air destroy a 50,000-seat landmark? On September 12, 1975, the state unveiled a $71 million marvel designed to define Hawaii's modern era. Built with a bold steel skeleton, the venue offered 50,000 seats. Its defining feature was an unusual, flexible design. 4 massive 300-ton seating sections rested on wheels and tracks, allowing technicians to physically reshape the entire stadium bowl for football, baseball, or concerts. For 45 seasons, this became the roaring home of University of Hawaii football and the prestigious annual stage for the NFL's Pro Bowl. It stood as Honolulu's ultimate civic landmark, a premier gathering place built to project Hawaiian prestige across the Pacific. The location of the stadium, situated on the southwest shore of Oahu, exposed its massive steel structure to a continuous flow of salt-laden trade winds. In tropical marine environments, sea salt aerosol carries high concentrations of sodium chloride. These chloride ions settle on exposed metal, starting a slow, destructive chemical reaction. Normally, steel forms a protective oxide layer, but chloride ions strip this defense away, penetrating the surface and initiating electrochemical reactions. This results in pitting, a highly localized form of corrosion that bores deep cavities into the steel. The damage was even more severe in hidden areas. Moisture and salt became trapped at structural joints and interfaces, causing crevice corrosion. In these oxygen-starved zones, the steel deteriorated rapidly out of sight. This chemical onslaught targeted the most complex parts of the stadium's engineering. The massive movable seating sections relied on a mechanism of exposed steel trunnion pins, high-strength locking bolts, rails, and welds to shift configurations. Day after day, salt air settled into the tight tolerances of these mechanical components. The results were devastating over decades. Ultrasonic testing eventually revealed that the steel was literally thinning from this constant environmental exposure. In some areas, lower chord horizontal trusses lost 25% of their original plate thickness, dropping to just 6 millimeters. On critical deck flanges, the steel wore down to just 4 to 5 millimeters, well below the safe design threshold. By stripping away the cross-sectional area of these essential supports, the salt air reduced the stadium's bearing capacity, quietly eating away at its structural limits long before anyone noticed. During the 1990s, the stadium entered a relentless cycle of cosmetic patching and temporary repairs. Maintenance crews under manager Michael Kaanui fought a losing battle, repainting rusted beams only to watch the corrosion bleed through the new coatings. By 2017, the state spent $4.4 million just to replace corroded seat plates in the Mauka and Makai stands. Kaanui observed that every new weld or patch stripped away nearby protection, forcing the rust to return even faster. Keeping the gates open consumed the stadium's remaining service life, turning routine upkeep into a desperate, continuous effort to delay structural failure. In December 2020, the decades of quiet decay culminated in an immediate public consequence. A state-mandated structural inspection, led by building inspection expert Lance Luke, revealed that the risk of sudden structural failure under live loads exceeded 30%, violating national building safety factors. The Stadium Authority issued an immediate moratorium on new events, permanently closing the spectator areas. For 45 seasons, the stadium had defined local sports, but it was now officially a liability. The University of Hawaii football program was abruptly forced to find a new home, ultimately relocating to a temporary 5,000-seat practice field on campus. Almost overnight, Hawaii's premier gathering place became a restricted zone locked away behind security fences. State engineering reviews in 2017 faced a stark calculation. To execute the essential safety repairs, rebuilding corroded concrete decks, replacing thinned seat plates, and arresting structural rot would cost a minimum of $300 million. This massive outlay came with a troubling catch. It would only extend the stadium's useful life by 15 to 20 years, while still requiring up to $10 million annually in ongoing maintenance. The fundamental flaw remained: a steel structure with complex moving parts trapped in a highly corrosive marine environment. By contrast, early estimates for a brand new, modern venue stood at $423 million. For engineers and public officials, the question shifted from whether the landmark could be saved to whether it should be saved. Spending hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars on a temporary patch no longer made fiscal sense. Continued remediation was exposed as a costly stopgap, prompting a definitive end-of-life judgment. The choice was clear: stop pouring money into a decaying past and invest in a resilient future. In 2019, the Hawaii State Legislature passed Act 268, establishing the legal path for the new Aloha Stadium Entertainment District known as NASED. Rather than a simple one-for-one arena swap, state officials introduced a $400 million plan designed as a public-private partnership. The concept paired a downsized 35,000-seat stadium with a surrounding retail and residential community, featuring 150,000 square feet of commercial space and a new public plaza. But the ambitious scope of this entertainment district triggered immediate political and financial debates. Opponents, including Senator Brickwood, voted against the funding measures, warning of potential cost overruns and a lack of transparent accounting. Though supporters like Representative Kanu pointed to the economic benefits for local communities, the reliance on a complex mix of state bonds and private equity capital slowed momentum. These political disputes and changing developer agreements created multi-year delays. Instead of a quick transition to a modern sports hub, the project remained locked in bureaucratic negotiations, leaving the promised future stalled on the drafting table. While politicians debated, the physical structure of Aloha Stadium sat abandoned behind chain-link fences. The packed parking lot and bustling swap meets fell quiet, replaced by warning signs and security patrols. For nearby residents and vendors like Keone Mail, who once set up concession grills at dawn, the silence was heavy. Neighboring businesses lost a cumulative $12 million in sales as the empty, rusting structure cast a quiet shadow over Halawa. What was once the state's main gathering place became a locked monument to bureaucratic gridlock, leaving Hawaii's sports community waiting in a painful, multi-year limbo. In December 2025, the multi-year limbo ended as Pacific Demolition Services mobilized on site under a $45 million contract, turning the long-debated stalemate into physical action. Crews initiated a phased structural removal, targeting the stadium's original design features first. Project managers directed hydraulic shears to cut through the heavily corroded 300-ton movable seating sections. By April 2026, demolition teams successfully lowered the entire northwest movable segment, completing the first major phase. Once crews dismantle the main concrete bowl, the work will transition to complete site clearance and material recycling, permanently converting the rust-ravaged landmark into empty, cleared ground, ready for vertical construction of the new entertainment district. Aloha Stadium remains a powerful warning of how salt air and deferred maintenance can quietly dismantle major public infrastructure without a single dramatic catastrophe. While a modern entertainment district will soon claim the footprint, the local identity, community gatherings, and decades of fan rituals cannot be replicated. And that's the strange, slow story of how the sea air brought down one of Hawaii's most famous landmarks. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this investigation and you would like to see more breakdowns like this one, consider liking the video and subscribing. It genuinely helps. Until the next one. As the dust settles over Oahu, we are reminded that grand monuments rarely fall to sudden crises. Instead, they are slowly reclaimed by the very environment that surrounds them. In Hawaii, the sea air always wins. Subscribe for more stories.